Well, welcome back. Today we have two very special guests on the show today. So one happens to be a three-time NCAA champion and 2012 U.S. Olympian in track and field. He also happens to be the owner of Next Level Training. It is Maurice Mitchell. And today we also have Christopher Tijerina back on the show, who is a lead agent with Roadrunner Realty. Hi, guys. Nice to see you. Welcome to the show, Maurice. Great to see you again, Christopher.
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
yeah,
Thank you.
glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear all about you. It sounds like you've got some pretty awesome accolades here. So how did you two meet? And Maurice, tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Yeah, so when I made the Olympic team, I ran for 4 years with Nike. I was ranked ninth in the world, had a lot of success on the collegiate level. After I ran professional, I wanted to really pour into the youth and give back and give my knowledge and my experiences and my expertise to the young kids. So I moved into San Antonio to start a business to where I could really develop young youth for speed and agility. I think a lot of kids nowadays, they don't know how to really use their bodies and know how to run correctly. So I really stepped out on faith, and I think God had a calling for me to train kids to become faster and get on the next level. The reason I met Chris is I just happened to be, again, training. Again, I train kids, next level training. And I seen this stocky, this stocky big guy running in the corner of my eye. And I said, I'm going to come and check this guy out and maybe have him run on my track team and maybe train him a little bit.
Okay.
And then to come to find out he wasn't in his teenage years.
I was not a teenager. No.
Yeah, so
But how did I look?
he looked spectacular. I mean, the form was great. There wasn't much I had to teach. It was just mainly just get him on my team so I can look good, you know.
Right.
So he's fast, he's fit. I was like, hey, but then he's 40 plus. So, but I got the opportunity
can't believe, but...
Yeah, I know. Like he never ages. But I got a chance to meet him, and we got a chance to talk and get a chance to know each other. And now I actually train his son, who's a up and coming athlete now. So
Perfect. You want to take anything for that, Christopher, that first time you met?
I'd like to point out for the record on TV that Maurice Mitchell, the Olympian, said I was fast.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that forever.
So let's get back to that point, right? Well, okay, so I imagine you guys meet, talking about, running and all that, and maybe how you keep your knees up. I think that would be like how not to deteriorate your knees after all this time running. That's like what comes to my head. But anyway, how were you able to turn that conversation into real estate? Because after all, that is what you do.
We were talking, and I think I turn every conversation into real estate.
Yeah.
I can't help it. It's part of my DNA. I just turned the conversation that way. But Maurice did ask me what I do for a living when we were out at the track talking. And so I told him a little bit about my real estate business. And he shared with me that him and his wife were looking to buy a new home. And so that was where the conversation really took off. Mm-hmm. And then it really got interesting when he said that they wanted to buy a new home, but it hadn't been that long that he had started his own business, and so he didn't think they were ready to do so. And, that conversation just really got interesting because that topic is one of my topics that I get on my soapbox. There are so many entrepreneurs, personal trainers and coaches like Maurice. I've talked to truckers and hairstylists and nail salon owners and life coaches, anybody who's 1099 that thinks that they can't buy a home, even if they want to, just because they started their own business. And that's just not the case.
Okay. So what advice do you have for people? Because I know I can relate to kind of what he says. Do you have the tax returns from however many years? Is the business going to, continue to do well and thrive? So, all the things that entrepreneurs might think about and not think that they're ready to buy a home. What advice would you give to those people who do want to buy a home, but are feeling a little unsure if they can?
Entrepreneurs are a huge section of the market. This is America. There are so many opportunities for somebody to buy a home today. There are 12-month bank statement loans. There are 6-month profit and loss statement loans. And sometimes there are just ways that we can put the file together in order to get it done. And here's this world-class athlete, this Olympian with an amazing business, and he was putting it off because he didn't think that he was ready. Now, entrepreneurs are just a piece of that too. I talk to people all the time that have all this student loan debt. I talk to people that just went through a divorce or for whatever reason think they're not ready. And I always tell them the same thing. You can't rely on just your guess to see if you're ready to buy a home or not. If you really want to, come and talk to me. Email me, call me, send me a text message. Let's look into it, because this is what I do day in and day out. And 9 times out of 10, we end up getting them a new home. In fact, if I only sold homes for people who thought they were 100% ready, I'd probably only sell 2 homes a year.
Yeah.
And that's just
Totally.
not the case.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for coming on. I think if anybody is an entrepreneur or just has that little apprehension, Christopher, I mean, they got to talk to you because you're going to help them get to where they want to be. Maurice, so great to meet you. And thank you so much for coming on and doing what you do with your business.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. And we'll be right back.